was alive when she was born, when he was still alive, so she remembered him. Yep. Yep. Hey, how are you? Yeah. A few of us, so can you hear me? Truman didn't turn it now, but whatever. I don't care. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, there's a big delay on it. That's good. That's all right. All right.
All right. All right. So I guess we'll get started. It's actually 5:32, right? So I figured there'd be a small group of us tonight, middle of the week, Thursday at 5:30, and all that fun stuff. So for the Battle of Franklin Trust, I started working at Carnton years ago, so getting pretty close. When we had the trailer just up the way, so I started, and Eric and I have worked together the whole time. So I'm not quite the speaker Eric is. Everybody knows him, but I keep him balanced usually. I'm usually the one on staff that might argue with him or any of that. So, so tonight we're actually going to talk about the new visitor center for Carter House. Everybody has surely seen all the different things that we have sent out, hopefully. But we had the official groundbreaking just a short time ago with the state of Tennessee, and they've been great partners to help us see the project through. It's been so very long in getting there. So we're going to talk a little bit about kind of how we got there. I won't bog down in that. A little bit about the building and show you some floor plans. You can actually see some floor plans. And then we'll spend most of our time talking about the museum itself. So I want to be fully transparent with everybody. The state of Tennessee and the grant money that's been talked about and everything that's been in the news articles in the newspaper, that is funding through the state of Tennessee, and we are very thankful for all of that, but they are not actually paying for the museum. So the museum itself is something that the Battle of Franklin Trust is funding in full. So all of that is using our objects or objects on loan and images that we've done research and the text and all of that we've put together. So that is definitely our project. So I figured I'd put up a few things y'all could see, obviously, a few years of Carter House and all the different things we've had going on. So the new building will actually be named for Herbert Harper, who was he was actually the president of the Carter House Association here for many, many years. Very active at the sites in Franklin. He was also involved at Carnton. A lot of people don't know about that too much, but as the director also of the Tennessee Historical Commission, he was very involved in preservation efforts here at Carnton, the initial work on the house, and particularly the outbuildings, and all of that as well. So this is actually the groundbreaking for the current visitor center. So that was in 1981, and so I did actually bring my laser pointer to do this. So Herbert's son, Herb, is actually right back there with his wife. So, and I know, so this is actually Herbert right here. And obviously you can see some of the other staff people and some of the other people who made that happen. So when you first came to Carter House, when it first opened to the public in 1952, the visitor center was the farm office. I don't know how many people knew that or remember that, but you came right off of Columbia Avenue and you turned right into the driveway, which is about where the mailbox is today, kind of close to that if you drive along Columbia, and you would come in and you would stop at the farm office. That's where they had their office and a little museum. So they were really anxious to get a real visitor center built, and that's how the one that we're in now was built in 1981 and opened in 1982. So it's been open for over 40 years. And so over on the left, you can see that's actually a photo from the groundbreaking that we just had a little bit ago, and those are actually members of Herbert's family that were there. So they were kind enough to join us for that. So yes, all right. So that gives you, this is obviously an aerial photo showing the current visitor center, of course, and then where the new visitor center is actually going to be, and I'll show you the map in just a little bit, but this is at the groundbreaking for anybody who was there or saw what was going on that day. And so the construction trailer is here, and then the new building right now, or there's a big pit if you've driven by. So it's right there, and it's going to be cut into the hill. So if anybody's gone over, you've kind of seen where they've been cutting away. So the building you'll enter, and then you'll go up, and then you'll go out on the top of the hill. So it's going to be hidden from view. So obviously, the people in this room know that we worked really hard to acquire Battlefield to protect view sheds, and that's part of the reason that it's going to be built into the hill, right? To keep that view shed as much as we can from Carter Hill. Right. Okay, now this is where it gets kind of confusing. So I tried to orient this in the same way as the picture we just looked at, right? So this is the same entrance on Folks that we have today, okay? So I chose this one so you can see this is the existing visitor center right here. And this is the historic house. And then our outbuildings, right? Pathway that goes up to it. This is Columbia. And then we're on Folks right here. So you can see underneath, this is the current outline of the parking lot. So you can see the new parking lot is actually going to be larger, but closer, reoriented near the property line, but using that same entry point on Folks, so we don't have to have any new reconnection or anything like that with the property. So you can see the building itself built right into the hill, and then we'll have the pathways that'll loop up and around, and then one that'll be fully accessible for ADA compliance, of course, on the outside as well. And then we've got a couple of different components for stormwater runoff and all of that kind of thing. Of course, that's required by the city of Franklin, and we're also under the historic overlay, of course. And Carter House is a National Historic Landmark, so there are a lot of other requirements that we've had to fulfill as well. But hopefully that makes sense to everybody based on what we were trying to do. The visitor center itself, as I said, the current one's opened in 1982. If anybody has been, you know we've desperately needed a new one for a long time. So we have certainly struggled to get there. The first formal submittal that we made to the state, we, the kind of the collective we, was in 1993. So it had barely been 10 years in the new building, and they already knew, hey, we need more space. So we've been actively working on it in the Carter House Association before the Battle of Franklin Trust since 1993. To get a new facility. So we are thrilled and thankful that this is actually going to be coming to pass soon, very, very soon. So they should be pouring footers next week. So we are hopeful. I am hopeful. But you can see all of the fun arrangement there. All right, hold on. Let's see if that'll go. There we go. So that gives you the front of the building. So you can see the front, you'll enter straight from the parking lot. And like I said, you go upstairs and then exit out the top. And that's actually the exit right up there as well. All right, so first floor. We won't get into all the crazy stuff. But I want you all to at least see, since we're very excited about all this, this is actually where you're going to be entering from the parking lot. So you'll have the gift shop, desk, of course, reception desk, similar to what we have now, but you'll be able to have all of that space. This is what they're calling the orientation room, but this is really actually the first museum room. So this is museum, and this is also museum. So we kind of got an L of space. So we've got a conference room for all the board meetings can actually happen in a real conference room now. So that's actually kind of nice, right? And then we have more than one toilet. This is the greatest. This is very exciting. This is very, very exciting right here. So, but we do actually have office, copy room, break room. We've got all of that stuff. There is an elevator, of course, and then stairs headed up to the second floor. And then upstairs, you'll come up the stairs. There's actually an overlook. So these two rooms where the gift shop was and that first museum room, this will actually be open all the way up. So when you come up the stairs, you'll be able to look down and it'll be all open that way. And believe it or not, we have more bathrooms on the second floor. That's very exciting. And then we have a couple more offices here and a small amount of object storage that I strongly petitioned for. We have over there. And then we have a large multi-purpose room so we can actually have the roundtable meetings there and have a dedicated space to do that, have lectures, have all of that. Yeah.
That big office in the corner there, is that yours?
No, it's Eric wanted this one, that's his. So he wanted the window to Carter House.
I meant the bigger one outside.
Oh, the big one, this one?
That's for you.
That's supposed to be my office, yes.
There, yeah.
Yep, so that'll be where the curatorial office is, right next to the object storage. That's the hope for sure. So then our guests will come up the stairs and they'll exit right out here, and then this path will lead them up to the Carter House. So tours will either gather there to start, or we'll have a point along the way for them to actually go to as well. So you can see hopefully some multi-purpose, very functional space that we're hoping for as well. All right, so part of what we've been doing, or what I've been doing, is working on the components of the museum for this space. So I have been working on that from when we first sent it out to bid, which was before COVID.